and that doesn't make any sense, and I'm gonna say that differently. Sorry. Ha 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 ha. All my words are not wording today. What is wrong with me? Hi! Welcome back to Jonestead Farm. We are obviously not on the farm. We are driving about 2 hours-ish away from Jonestead Farm to pick up 2 new additions to our farm. That's what we're getting?
Yeah, we're getting 2 old spots. We had mentioned in the last video that we were going to pick up 2 more this year just because the pork was so great, and
yeah,
I don't think we could go a season without filling our freezer back up. So
no, so we actually, kind of funny backstory as to like why we are sold on old spots. We bought a whole hog from a local farm before we were able to raise hogs on our own. And it was good quality pork, raised ethically, tastes amazing from the aspect of like better than the grocery store, but it just wasn't quite our vibe. It was a little too porky. I feel like all of the meat was very thick. And I know that might be someone's jam, but it was just really dense. And I've done some research trying to figure out like what makes the best kind of like equation for what makes the best hog. And I was looking at the lard hogs, and you just keep hearing all these great reviews of old spots and how they're kind of the best of both worlds, how fast they grow out, as well as the quality of the product that you're getting. So I really enjoyed having old spots last year. It had some of the best sausage, some of the best ground pork too. It never really tasted like off. The pork chops were to die for. And those were like the first things to be gone out of our freezer. We ate through all of it. We ate through all the ribs. Like, it's all pretty much gone. All we have left right now is about 2 butt roasts and some ground pork. So
yeah, we did an A/B comparison on the first hog that we bought, and then this the ones that we raised last year. We did smoke some ribs, and it was just there was a complete difference.
Yes, could not even compare one to the other. One literally just tasted very thick and porky, and the other one was very just luscious. You could tell like the fat had rendered well. It had good fat content. They were much more tender. Like, it was so much better. So the reason why we drive 2 hours for some piglets. Bacon.
Yeah, so we'll be picking them up here in just a few.
Yeah.
So we'll share with you along the way, and you guys get to see them, and obviously throughout the year you get to see how we raise them. We'll take you to Butcher Day and all that. So
yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Kids have already named them too, which is even funnier. These 2 that we're getting are Barrows, so castrated males, and I don't even know if I've told you the names they picked out.
Yeah.
We let them name them, but they know wholeheartedly that they're not pets, that they are food. Our last 2 was Hammy and Babe, and they were both gilts, females. These 2 are Barrows, castrated males, and Wilbur and Templeton, Charlotte's Web. You know, sucker for a good name. All right, we'll see you back in a little bit.
Ready to get some piggies, buddy? Yeah. We're gonna go get some piggies.
Hey, we just got back to the farm from picking up our new pigs, some old spots, and we just wanted to share a little bit about the process of how we found our pigs. You know, when we first started looking for pigs, it was really hard to find them. On Facebook, you know, has really tight restrictions on selling animals online and stuff like that. And so last year we ended up finding a breeder through Facebook, but they weren't selling them necessarily online, but they were just a breeder that was local. And so we reached out to them, and that's how we found our last old spots that we had last year. But they were no longer breeding them this year. They went down to a different breed. And so Janae, why don't you tell them a little bit about how we ended up finding the ones that we got today?
Yeah, so I actually had a conversation with our former breeder, I guess I should say, and she didn't have anybody really close that she knew that was breeding them, but she told us to reach out to a specific farm in our within our 2 to 3 hour radius from our home, and they were a great source, but they also were more into breeding and registered pigs and etc. And we weren't really looking for breeding stock. We were just looking for some feeder pigs. So that increases the price significantly whenever you find a good breeding stock. But we, again, weren't really looking in that price point, or were really looking to become old spot breeders, at least not right now. So that breeder then told us, hey, you should check out this farm because they have a good feeder stock, and they actually had bought a lot of their breeders from us, and so they have good feeder pigs. And we ended up going with them. They were awesome to work with, really sweet people. Honestly, when you're kind of looking for this kind of animal, sometimes you have to get on a wait list months in advance. I had actually reached out to this specific farm back in December and asked if they had any if they were going to have any litters of pigs soon, and so they reached back out to us as soon as they had some old spots, and so yeah, we picked up a Barrows. I requested Barrows this time. We had not we had gilts last time. They weighed out a little bit small, so I was just wanting to kind of try our hand at maybe Barrows. Of course, you want to go castrated males because they end up being a little bit less aggressive, and they actually are a little bit cheaper too, because you know they know they're going to be feeders, so they can't really sell them as breeders, obviously, being a Barrow. So
yep. And we're just in the south side of Kansas City, and this breeder was down in like the Mount Vernon, kind of close to Joplin, Springfield.
Yeah.
So it was a couple hour drive for us, but ended up being a really great day.
It was a good date day.
Yeah.
It was fun. We had of course we always have a third wheel right now. So, but he's cute. We let him crash our party.
Because he looks like his daddy.
He does look like his dad. I'm a sucker for a cute little Jonesy.
Well, we're going to get these pigs unloaded, and so just tell you a little bit about the process. What we do is, I was telling you last time, we keep them in the Suscovich tractors just when they're piglets, because we keep them in our backyard. It's a fenced-in backyard. If they happen to get out, they're contained. And then once they get a few weeks older, we'll move them into like the pen closer to the barn. Yeah. Last time we rotated the old spots. I don't know if I would necessarily say they're a great pasture pig. So this time we're going to try to do some deep bedding method and see how that works for us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it definitely. They always chose to leave whenever my husband left, which was really fun because chasing hogs without a man is no fun. My girls and I are strong farm girls, but no more chasing old spot pigs. So deep bedding would be great because also it creates really great compost for my garden later. Yep. So
we're obviously in a minivan. It would be nice, to have a nice truck and stock trailer and all that, but as a homesteader, you're just trying to figure out how to get some things done. And you just make do with what you got. We have a dog kennel, put some straw down underneath the kennel. We have a pad, so just in case there are any liquids or anything, it gets soaked up. So we are going to pick these guys up and walk them to their kennel that's in our backyard, or the Suscovich tractor. This is my daughter Annie, and she's going to help. So this is her first time handling a piglet, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so you want to carry them by their back leg. That's why they want to be the most calm.
Oh, that's
and so we're just going to walk them straight there as fast as we can.
Yep. Okay, let's go. All right, run.
That's loud.
That's loud. So the reason why we're doing it this way is, one, the Suscovich is so multi-purpose, like my husband already said, and having a chain link fence around, it gives them an opportunity to kind of get used to us before they get put in a space that is potential for them to break out. We like to handle them some so that it's easy for them to be able to, I don't know, be touched, petted, loved on, but also so they know how to handle humans a little bit.
Hey.
Way more dramatic than what it actually is. They act like they're dying, but they're not. So the Suscovich is so great for this purpose. It's so great for this purpose. Hardware cloth around in order to keep pests and predators out. Keeps rats and stuff out, and then it also just keeps, you know, you've got raccoons and such that can be foxes, things like that can totally decimate a flock of baby chickens. But when you have pigs, they also like to break it. So we've had to do some repair on it, which is kind of funny. But these little piglets will be back here in our backyard for a little while, and then we'll be able to, like I said, handle them and feed them scraps and make them our best friends for a little while before they go out into the barn and live on deep bedding.
Look at him!
Aren't they so cute?
My girlfriend.
So cute. Sweetness.
She's been hard. We did it. That was actually really easy.
They're so cute.
Duke doesn't mind the piglets being back here. He definitely is not aggressive towards them whatsoever, and especially as they get a little bit bigger. Piggies! Duke actually doesn't mind it because, of course, we feed them some scraps, and so Duke had a love relationship with the pigs last year. It was kind of funny because the pigs would shove stuff underneath the gate for him almost. It was really cute.
Alright, do we need to get some of my food?
What do you think, Duke?
There's mold, and we'll fill it with water and give that to those.
So sweet.
Scrub here is the empty.
That was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, watching you try to get that squealy one. Which one were you holding? The black face or the?
I think, Templeton.
Templeton's pretty squealy. He's a sassy little thing. But yeah.
We're going to walk to the barn real quick. We're getting some water and feed for them. And then, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you have to do, set them up. They're pretty simple right now. Honestly, they're pretty simple in general. So if you have the space to grow out some pork, I say do it. It's not that hard. It's pretty simple.
Annie is getting them some feed, and we're going to get them some water. And we're going to get them set up.
So,
Look what get inside because these fish are not like the other ones that we had.
And say hi to everybody.
Hi. I'm gonna shut the gate.
Yeah, you just kind of got to pick. There you go.
Can I shut?
oh. Hey Annie, why don't you put it up against that corner?
In the corner?
So they don't
can't
spill
pick
it. It's funny how, like, initially they're so skittish of you and don't want to, like, get near you. But then, you know, here in a month or two, as soon as they see you, yeah, you're their best friend. You got all the treats.
They're snacks.
And I love when people scratch them.
Mm-hmm.
Now I need to go wash my hands.
Do
Do you want me to move this stuff then?
Yeah, we'll use it to cover, to be bedding them a little bit once they have some.
Once they have more water, like dump it everywhere.
And when
Like
they,
pigs do.
yeah. They're so cute. These guys are way more friendly than what our gilts were when we picked them up. I feel like those poor gilts that we got last year took them forever to come around. These guys seem to be extra sweet. We got some pigs. It's gonna be good times.
Yep.
I'm excited for you guys to watch them grow. It'll be crazy how quick they grow as they do all things, even the children.
I got
They all grow.
Yeah, some of the best things with having pigs on the farm is they are your garbage disposal. We have a large family. We have a lot of food scraps, and you know, when we don't have pigs, the chickens get it. But when we
The chickens are a little more picky than the pigs. So the pigs, you really feel like full circle. Like what the chickens don't eat, the pigs will eat. So you feel like even on butcher day, you know, like the stuff that you normally would throw away, like the pigs eat. So it's full circle, and it really closes a loop on your farm.
Did you talk about the food pantry?
I didn't.
No, so one thing that you can potentially think about doing is we have a local food pantry that's part of our church, and I reached out to them and said, hey, you know, if you guys have any leftover food that ends up in the dumpster, we'd happily take it, especially, you know, your produce, your dairy, stuff like that. And they've been super great. We've been with them for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
And we have 2 pickups each week, and it's just so much food that's really beneficial. It helps keep the feed costs down. And so I would say, you know, if you're looking for, you know, an economical way to feed your animals, you know, check out a local food pantry or even a grocery store or something like that. If they got stuff that's going to go away, just give them a call. Say, hey, how can I help you? How can you help me? You know?
How can you help me help you?
Yeah. Help me help you. Help me.
Yeah, totally. I'm looking forward to kind of cutting down the costs. Last year, we definitely took a bath in our feed costs, and so we're trying to learn some of our don't do that again vibes. So, you know, full circle. It's nice to actually have a plan this year going into it. Like I said in a previous video, like I very much was like, hey, let's buy some pigs. They'll be a tiller. True, they are tillers, but you also need to be prepared for them because we were not nearly as prepared for them as what we should have been. And that was my bad. Sorry, Jones.
Another thing that you may keep an eye out on is I think we might, towards the end of the season, just do a breakdown of cost of feed and the animals and everything that you got to do to maintain them, and just, you know, maybe compare it to some store-bought pork.
Even like local sourced farm pork, you know, like, is it even worth our time to do this? We could very well just buy it from a local farm, right? Then there are some things that it is easier for us right now to buy from a local farm. If we want to buy a whole cow, we don't have the fencing right now, so it would be irresponsible to do that, right? So sometimes it is better to buy it from a local farm, and sometimes it's like, no, raise it yourself. You'll save yourself a bunch of money and enjoy the experience. So
yeah, but you gotta figure the other benefits that you'd get out of raising it yourself.
totally.
Well, and just the process, knowing where your food comes from,
Yeah.
knowing how it's been treated, knowing exactly what it eats, all that. And then also for our family, you know, we have a lot of kids, but it teaches them some responsibility. They each got chores, and everyone participates. Everyone has to be a contributor on the farm.
Yeah, I think too, especially in America, we literally have no idea where our food comes from sometimes. You know, you can just like go up to the grocery store, pick up your little package of chicken or your perfectly wrapped pork chops, and you don't even think about the sacrifice that some animal made for you to have a meal. And our kids know what that's like. They've raised the food that they've eaten. They are very well aware whenever we buy certain animals. I'm like, this one is not a pet, y'all. This is food. Also, we have 2 ducks. Those are our pets right now. We're using them for eggs. You know, they're not really pets, but they serve a purpose. They're giving us eggs. But, you know, there are some animals that we buy for other purposes, maybe not to kill them for food, but for them to provide certain food, like our laying birds. But when they hit a certain point, they become food. And all of our kids are very well aware of that. But they also get to enjoy the process of seeing where their food comes from. And it's not sad. It's really epic. I think our kids have learned some really cool lessons, and we've learned some really cool lessons of where our food comes from, and then on top of that, the sacrifice that it actually takes for those things to become available for us. Going to the grocery store and picking up a package of chicken breasts, I know what that took. And so I think you eat a little more responsibly and a little less irresponsibly, knowing what it took for that animal to sacrifice for you, you know?
Yeah. That's one thing that we really focus on Butcher Day too. Like, we'll take some time before the day starts and just remind everybody, you know, that an important thing to know in life is for us to live, something had to die for us.
Yeah.
And, you know, we tie it back to some biblical principles as well, that, you know, to have eternal life, someone died for us. And we just think it's really important that, you know, you can't, we don't think you should just go through life and not think about the things you consume or the decisions that you make or whatever, but knowing that there are other contributing factors.
Yeah.
Someone gave their time, someone gave their life, and doing that with your food, I think, is a great way to teach that principle.
Yeah.
And so we really find that to be a valuable lesson in everyday living, but then also it is applicable to you know, our understanding of what Christ did for us. And so it's a great teaching moment.
It is. Well, I think we should probably make some dinner, get some chores done. So it's been great. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yep, thank you. We love you. God bless. And don't forget to like and subscribe. You definitely help us. My family laughs at me when I say that, but
We do. But we love him all the same.
Here's the thing. One, we just hope that you join us for the journey. We think community is really important, and it just really helps us. And if you appreciate what we're doing, we would just really appreciate that. It would help us a ton. And but mainly, we just want you guys along for the journey and be part of the community.
Totally.
And hopefully, you can learn some things from what we're doing, right or wrong. So yeah, hit like and subscribe. Quit laughing.